4, 5, 6, 7.
I think that's the absolutely most craziest thing I've ever heard.
People were caught trying to steal her stuff. They even got shot at and ran off. Cops showed up looking for the burglars, but instead they say they smelled weed, got a warrant, and ended up charging Glo after discovering a significant amount of marijuana in her master bedroom closet.
4, 5, 6, 7. GloRilla was definitely not expecting this twist in her legal drama. Co's homegirl fainted on the spot the moment her sentence dropped. This is a career-ending bombshell, and the culture is shook. I think that's the absolutely most craziest thing I've ever heard. What did the judge say that made Glo hit the floor? Stick around. We've got the full scoop. The latest hood nightmare on July 22nd, 2025. Thank you. GloRilla got slapped with 2 felony charges: possession of more than 1 ounce of weed and possession of a controlled substance. But hold up, these charges ain't come from no undercover sting operation or the feds running up on her trap house. Nah, fam. This wild situation started when 3 masked-up individuals broke into GloRilla's Forsyth County, Georgia crib, snatched up some expensive jewelry, and bounced after somebody in the house started letting shots off. And here's the part that'll really get your blood boiling. Our girl wasn't even in the building when these clowns violated her space. She was out in Indianapolis handling her business like a boss, performing at the WNBA All-Star Game and securing that bag while these street rats was trying to come up off her hard-earned success. 3 people were caught trying to steal her stuff. They even got shot at and ran off. Cops showed up looking for the burglars, but instead they say they smelled weed, got a warrant, and ended up charging Glo after discovering a significant amount of marijuana in her master bedroom closet. So, let me get this straight. The real perpetrators who actually ran up at her spot got away scot-free, but she's the one facing serious felony time. The mathematics ain't mutton on this one, Chief. GloRilla wasn't about to stay quiet about this backwards-ass situation either. She hit up social media and kept it all the way 100, posting while I was in Indianapolis performing for the WNBA All-Star Game, and instead of focusing on finding the suspects, they focus on some cannabis. 1. So no, I wasn't busted. 2. My house got robbed. 3. I wasn't home. Long story short, my house gets home invaded, and I'm the only one that gets arrested. Her legal team came out swinging, calling the charges unbelievable since she was clearly the victim in this whole scenario. And they wasn't sugarcoating nothing about their feelings regarding the police priorities. The most infuriating part: no arrests were made for the actual home invasion, meaning the real criminals who violated her sanctuary are still out here running the streets, probably planning their next lick. Real boss moves, though. Despite all the legal drama, GloRilla posted that $22,260 bond the same day and kept her grind going. She didn't let the system break her spirit or stop her hustle. If convicted on these bogus charges, she could be looking at 10 years behind bars. But no trial date has been set yet since the case is still in its early stages. But real talk, this ain't GloRilla's first dance with law enforcement. Back in April 2024, she got hemmed up with DUI charges in Gwinnett County, Georgia, after the boys in blue pulled her over for making an illegal U-turn at a red light. The whole interaction got documented on body cam, and she caught charges for driving under the influence, open container violations, and failure to obey traffic control devices. She refused the breathalyzer test, and the body cam footage even captured a wardrobe malfunction during the field sobriety tests. There's also some confusion about her past criminal history that needs to be addressed. Way back in the day, GloRilla was arrested for shoplifting in Tennessee, which was just a misdemeanor that didn't result in any major consequences or media attention. But there's been some wild rumors floating around because of a viral interview clip. You actually did 3 years in jail.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. They said from stealing from Kmart cereal.
Yeah.
This don't sound right. No, I want you to be honest because you've got this on the paper. I don't like the fact that you dug that up. No, we going to cut the cameras. No, but dead ass. Like, you didn't go to jail for 3 years for stealing cereal, right?
Yes.
This clip got people confused about whether she really did serious time, but based on the documentation, that shoplifting charge was minor league compared to the legal drama she's dealing with now. Now, let me break down the most devastating legal situation GloRilla been dealing with. And this one involves real tragedy and loss of life. On March 5th, 2023, some heartbreaking events went down at a concert in Rochester, New York that nobody saw coming. A deadly stampede occurred at the Main Street Armory during a show headlined by GloRilla and Finesse 2 times after false reports of gunshots caused a crowd surge that killed 3 women. Rondijah Belton, 33, Randy Miller, 35, and Aisha Haskins-Stevens, 35, and injured several others. The aftermath of this tragedy brought some serious legal consequences that are still playing out today. Multiple civil lawsuits were filed with the victims' families going after GloRilla finessed 2 times, promoters, venue owners, security companies, the city of Rochester, and even the police and fire departments for wrongful death and negligence. This type of litigation is no joke. We're talking about serious legal exposure involving questions about crowd control, venue safety, emergency planning, and what level of responsibility performers have when live events go tragically wrong. In June 2024, a whole group of concertgoers filed a collective lawsuit in New York State Supreme Court for injuries they sustained targeting the venue and organizer. The good news for GloRilla is that no criminal charges were filed against her since investigations determined the stampede was caused by crowd panic and not any actions by the performers. But these civil cases are still hanging over her head like storm clouds. No public trials have gone down yet, and there haven't been any reported settlements as of July 2025. The cases appear to be ongoing, with comparisons being drawn to the Travis Scott Astroworld tragedy, where similar suits eventually got settled out of court. GloRilla issued a public statement expressing condolences to the families, but hasn't commented further on the litigation. The legal drama extends way beyond criminal charges and wrongful death suits. Though GloRilla's had to deal with some serious intellectual property warfare when rapper Plies filed a copyright infringement lawsuit in early 2025, claiming her song Wannabe with Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B lifted his 2008 track without proper clearance. But plot twist, Plies voluntarily dropped the lawsuit in March 2025, probably because he realized his case was weaker than gas station sushi, or they worked out some behind-the-scenes settlement. Then we got this absolutely ridiculous situation from June 2025 where Louisiana influencer Natalie Henderson decided to sue GloRilla over using the phrase "no BBL." Henderson claimed she was the original creator and trademark holder of the phrase that celebrates natural bodies and alleged GloRilla was using it in her merchandise and lyrics without permission. The business disputes get even deeper though. Atlanta investor Aristotle Varner Jr. came for GloRilla's neck in May 2024, alleging she scammed him out of $400,000. Varner claimed he paid her for business consulting services and social media promotions that she never delivered on, which represents the type of business drama that often emerges when artists transition from independent hustlers to major label operations. There was also some early industry beef brewing back in 2022. GloRilla got into a public dispute with producer Hitgood over the ownership and rights to her breakout hit FNF, Let's Go, when he claimed she was trying to cut him out of credits and royalties after she signed with Yodi's CMG label. While threats of litigation were made and things got heated on social media, no formal lawsuit was actually filed, and the matter seems to have been resolved through private negotiations. What makes GloRilla's legal situation so significant is how they expose the systemic issues and backwards priorities of law enforcement when dealing with successful Black women from the hood. The fact that she's facing potential prison time while the actual burglars who violated her home are still out here living their best life demonstrates some deep-rooted systemic problems that go far beyond any individual case. The hood has been extremely vocal about supporting GloRilla through these legal challenges. If it was anybody else, if it was another Jane Doe, it's just because it's GloRilla, they make a big deal out of it. If it was Alicia down the street, it would have been nothing. She wouldn't even there. So, how do you know somebody implanted drugs? How do you know somebody in her family that had it? How you know? It could be anything. Another supporter had this to say. I think that's the absolutely most craziest thing I've ever heard because she wasn't there first and foremost. Second of all, we don't necessarily know what happened in that situation. The robbers could have left that there. Anything could have happened. Throughout all this legal warfare, GloRilla has maintained her composure and stayed true to her authentic self. She's been transparent about her situations while being smart enough to avoid making statements that could potentially damage her legal position. As all these various legal cases continue moving through the court system, they serve as a stark reminder of the complex challenges that accompany rapid success in the music industry. For GloRilla, successfully navigating these legal obstacles while maintaining her artistic momentum and street authenticity represents one of the most significant tests of her still developing career. From gospel flows to chart domination,